fighting.
Congratulations! You have found WrestleShoot, hosted by the Wild Thing Rob Wilds and the ladies' man Chris Casanova. Combined, we have 40 years of wrestling experience, and we're here to share those experiences, stories, and knowledge with you over the podcast airwaves. We'll be joined by friends of ours from time to time to share their stories and experiences with you as well. So climb aboard the crazy train we call WrestleShoot. We know how to do it, and we do it real well. Ooh, don't you just love that goddamn song? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of WrestleShoot. I'm your host, Wild Thing Rob Wilds, of course, conspicuous by his absence. Is Mr. Chris. Oh, God, if it isn't a Creepy Jimmy himself. Creepy Jimmy, my friend, do I have a treat for you, sir? Because our special guest for tonight is none other than the real Chris Casanova. The man you don't know, you just think you do. But let's go ahead and bring on the real deal. Mr. Chris Casanova, the real Chris Casanova in the house, coming at us live from where you at? Vegas, baby?
Vegas, man.
Vegas, man. All right, Chris, we're getting a real bad lag. You may have to move to a different room with a nice white wall. Maybe your background is throwing us off.
Might need some strippers behind you, too. I don't know. Vegas, no strippers?
Oh, God. Casanova, man. Who are you talking to? Castle? Who you think you're dealing with? Don't you know that this is the Mac of the Mac Daddies, the pimp of the pimp diggities? Hi, Chris.
I don't see no strippers.
There you go.
I don't need no strippers, man.
Now we're getting a real lag on your end, guys.
Another room at one of my ladies' houses in Las Vegas.
All right.
Sipping on a little Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, I was going to ask what was on the menu.
What's that?
Casanova, I believe this is a new meeting for you. This down here, this creepy looking sumbitch who calls himself the world famous Jimmy Castle, me and that other guy, I won't mention him to you because I know you get upset. We call him Creepy Jimmy.
Okay. Well, as long as that Chris guy's not on the show, man, I cannot deal with him at all.
No, you can't. You can't deal with Chris, Mr. Cast. You can't deal with him.
Not at all.
Jesus Christ! What is this? A prelude to bringing back Psycho Ward?
Dude, are you crazy? Don't be bringing that guy's name up either. I don't want to talk about him either.
Man, we bring up Uncle Jay. We don't give a shit if it brings heat. We like the crazy. Have you I don't know how many of these episodes, Cass, you've actually seen, but we bring on some crazy sons bitches up on this thing, including this demented.
I think Uncle Jay's got Dave.
No, Uncle Jay does not have Dave. As a matter of fact, the butcher pointed out. Posted a video up on the Antisocial Network Facebook page. You should check it out, man.
Go check it out.
I know your age is probably making it hard for you to find time to take a look. I get it.
So who's this Uncle Jay guy?
Well, sir, I'm not really gonna go. I'm not really gonna get into him because I actually don't want to invoke him. He comes on and bombs.
Oh, you're gonna get into him, you homo.
He's all right, good one. He's a psychotic clown.
This guy's creeping me out, man.
Who? Creepy Jimmy, Mr. H-Bag down there? Yeah. He creeps everybody out. Isn't that right, Mr. H-Bag?
That's right.
All right. So I would like to go ahead and take everybody's attention back a very long time ago. A bright-eyed young man breaking into the wrestling business, eyes full of fire, blood full of piss and vinegar, which I know sounds like a toxic thing to be in your blood. But this gentleman's name was No Fear Chris Ward. And he was a young man living in Hayward, California, training at All Pro Wrestling and making his break into the business under the expert tutelage of Mr. Mike Modest.
Wow. That's 24 years ago, 25. It's a long
That
time.
young man had great opportunity. That young man got to wrestle a series with Mike Modest. He got to wrestle Virgil. No Fear Chris Ward wrestled the great Khali.
Yep. And also Max Justice too, in a bit of a feud as well.
Oh, fuck Max Justice.
Yeah, but when you're a rookie coming up, man, those first 3-4 months, I was thrown in with the hard hitters like right away. It was no joke. Like the Frank Murdochs, Mike Modest, the Max Justice, and of course the great Khali, which I have to tell you this quick story, and you may know this already, Rob, is we're working the show together. It was me and James Watkins and Bison Smith.
Wow, Bison Smith.
Bison Smith, rest in peace, man. Great dude, man. Just a great guy.
Good worker too.
So we were it was 3 of us against Khali, so it was like a handicap match. Now I'm sitting there talking to Khali in the back, and the guy that speaks like no English whatsoever. Like, and so it's all about like gestures and movements and everything like that. Of course, I'm No Fear Chris Ward, still a young man in the business, but still trying to talk to this guy that's 7'2", almost 400 pounds. So there's a little spot we did where I hit the ropes and I do like a baseball slide under him right outside the ring. And literally he turns around. I'm kind of talking to the crowd a little bit, reaches over the top rope, grabs me by my neck, and literally like lifts me up off the floor. I didn't jump. I didn't have to. I held on his wrists as hard as I could, and literally he just choke slammed the shit out of me right in the middle of the mat.
God, I wish I was there so I could have thrown him a few extra bones just to drill you to God himself.
Yeah, oh man, that was nuts. But so yeah, that was one of the greats I worked as well. I was with APW for a couple of years, and then I finally kind of moved on to I want to work other places. And but Roland, APW didn't really want me to work other places. They really wanted me to stay there, kind of.
So what was going through your mind when he grabbed you by the throat and just picked you up
by the throat?
Because you figure the size of his hands, the immensity of those, wrap it around your throat. He could probably touch his fingers on the other side. That must have been horrifying.
Dude, it was like, what was I feeling? Oh, fuck, man, what's going to happen? Just, it is what it is. Like, you're just going to go with it. I mean, but I feel like he was big enough and strong enough to hold me, which he obviously was. And let's just say the bump was not very kind, to say that.
Yeah, it's a long ride and a bad landing.
Oh, it felt like it was slow too. It felt like slow motion. It wasn't fast. It felt like I was up there for like 5 minutes, just kind of going.
Here we go.
Like that. And just boom through the mat.
It's like Warpath, man, when he would choke slam you. Obviously not the same kind of oomph as Khali, but boy, when Ruben picked you up, it's like, when am I going to quit going up and start coming down, man? That's all.
Yeah. You feel like you can go through the ceiling.
So what happened to spark the change? When did Psycho Ward get put to bed and the Casanova was born?
Wow. Well, so an old friend of mine, and you may know him, Jimmy Rip.
Yeah, come on, Chris. Come on. Yeah, that's not cool, buddy. Yeah, come on. Let's go out to the meth bar and pick a fight. Yeah, come on. I know I'm only 16 pounds and everything out of my mouth is a lie, but come on, Chris. Yeah, we're going to go out there and do the same match for the 97th time.
Wow, man, you sound just like him.
That was my homage. It was homage to James. Fuck
Oh,
you, Jimmy.
all right. Well, so that was at the time that him and I were kind of like doing more other stuff, like we're working with you and some other promotions. And I wanted a complete change. I just wanted a clean slate from APW. I was like, well, let's change the gimmick. Well, we were doing this gimmick called the Hot Boys. You remember that?
Yeah, with Rick Turner.
Yeah, with Rick Turner, we're kind of like a trio, all three of us. Well, before Rick Turner joined, I needed a new gimmick. So this is a time where that movie American Pie just came out, the first one. And you might remember the part where the guy's sitting in the car with the chick, and he's like, "You know me as Nova, as Casanova." You guys remember that part?
Yeah, they call me Nova, as in Casanova.
Yeah, exactly. So Jimmy's like, "Dude, there's your name, dude, Casanova, Chris Casanova." I was like, "Fuck, that's a great idea." And then he's like, "Yeah, you come out the roses, the vest, got some tights made. It says you ladies want it, type thing."
It actually said you fellas want it. Don't let them lie to you.
That was a good one. So, in fact, I got those tights made later on. It was just kind of the regular black tights because I started off as a baby face, as Chris Casanova, and me and Jimmy had this little feud. We were tag teaming, and we had to wrestle Joe Applebomber on. You were there in that show, Earthquake Ferris.
Ferris, yeah.
Yeah. And we were kind of like heels, but then I turned babyface because me and Jimmy got into it, and so me and him kind of started feuding a little bit. And honestly, the babyface just was not working with Chris Casanova. It just wasn't. Like people bought into it.
What's up, Mickey?
Oh, is that Mickey? Oh, what's up?
Well, you don't know Mickey. You've never been on this program before.
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I don't know him. Huh. Why did I just say that?
Too many of those glasses there.
I think so. So I want to go more like a heel type thing because I felt like that I would get way more over as a heel with Chris Casanova, and I did. So I got the tights made, saying "You ladies want it." Kind of changed up the gimmick, not as so much as the pretty boy, liking the ladies and all that. I kind of like did a combination of like Rick Rude, No Fear, kind of psycho, kind of all put together. Like I wouldn't take any shit, but also like I still look good type thing, and kind of like, yeah, you know what, ladies, you're not good enough for me type thing, and that's kind of how I rolled with it. And so more like an asshole type Casanova, and that got over like way more just versus the pretty boy, like, oh, the baby face apple pie type Chris Casanova. So that's kind of how the transition happened.
Right. I remember one of our matches. You had that one single rose, and you walked to some little old lady like you were going to give it to her. And then when she reached out for it, you jerked it back and then started laughing at her and walked away.
Yeah.
And I swear for God, I'd never heard such language. She was so heated. I jumped out of the ring, gave her a hug, and it got me all the baby heat I was going to need at all for the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah.
I think he gave you all the love you were going to get for the rest of your life.
Right. Thanks, Jimmy. Creepy fucking Jimmy, in effect.
So, by working that gimmick, I worked a lot of different promotions out there, and man, I was so hated. I mean, as Chris Casanova, I got so much heat. And of course,
I've seen some of the hate mail and the haters that you had out there as Chris Casanova.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the hate mail.
And
oh God, we've had the crowd so hot that we had to get some assistance in getting out of a couple of venues. Like, boy, when we came together, the heel aspect, the heel heat was mind-numbing. It was so much.
Yeah. Well, I remember we were feuding for quite a while. We had like a gosh, I don't know, 5 or 6 matches, like a series of different matches and things. And man, you were the face for the most part. And man, like I got so much fucking heat on that. And then you and I were talking one day, and you're like, man, we should fucking team up, man. Let's start a clique, man. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? How we kind of started that apocalypse thing?
Well, gosh, how we started it, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I brain farted the question for a minute.
Yeah, I kind of.
Well, as I recall it, we were over grabbing a few cold ones, enjoying a few beverages, a cocktail or two, something of the adult variety. And I said, man, why are we beating each other's brains out every fucking night? Why aren't we beating their brains out?
Yeah.
And you went like a tag team. I was like, well, yeah, man. When I was doing the Stalker, and there was this particular gentleman calling himself Chris Psycho Ward for a little while before, Mr. Casanova made his break. And I was telling people, you need to tag team us, man. Oh, no, we should feud you guys. Really? You want to have the Stalker versus Psycho Ward? Yeah, that's brilliant fucking booking. Get the fuck out of here with that. So it didn't end up panning out. But finally, we were like, dude, yeah. I was like, man, you think I can't make a heel switch in the biggest manner tomorrow night? Like, let's start our match, dude, and let's just fucking swerve it. Let's tell the crowd to eat a big bowl of dick and let's bounce, man. And let's not even warn the boys. Let's just do it. And we did. And it got over out front. It got over in the back, and the promoter loved it. And it was a pretty seamless transition. Then comes the apocalypse official with the Jimmy Snuka and Tonga Kid match.
Yeah, we really played that one too, though, because it was you and Snuka that were feuding. I remember just back on the 4th on WrestleShoot, and just going back and forth. And so the match was set. Basically, it was like, okay, it was you two at the beginning, and they're like, let's do a tag match. And basically, you had a mystery partner, and he got his partner right away, wasn't it?
No. We both had a mystery partner, and that was really just more for the radio bit of it all, because this is back when WrestleShoot was on terrestrial radio. So we'd actually go into the studio and have our call screeners and our engineers and like a real actual organized thing. Go fucking figure. But no, that was the gimmick. Was I don't remember what teased to it, but the gimmick was we were both going to have mystery partners that we will announce the month before the show. Then we're going to start building it. And then, I remember I had you on the air. Then we had Snuka on the air with us as well. And I announced who my partner was, the All-Pro Wrestling graduate from Mike Modest, a NorCal independent badass, Mr. Chris Casanova. And Porter was like, oh my God, I can't believe you got him, and blah, blah, blah. Of course you can't, dude. You see what kind of hell we started raising together before the big announcement. Yeah. And then Snuka said when you were on the air, it was me, you, and Snuka and Porter. And then he announced Tonga Kid, and we did the big meltdown, and that got all the additional rolling heat that we needed to sell that building out, and we did sell that building out.
Oh yeah, man, that was and that was the birth of the apocalypse that night.
The official formation, yeah.
Yep.
Besides that little swerve, the grabbing our nuts, telling them, fuck off, we're done fighting each other, just walking off into the sunset. I mean, we knew why we were doing it. We were doing it to set up for the sellout tag team match.
Yeah.
And look at you guys 20 years later, still lovers.
What happened? What happened? Did Dummy just say something and just totally throw off the vibe of the whole interview?
I think he did.
I think he did. You dirty little son of a bitch. Shave that twat you call him mouth and be quiet. Anyway. But I remember the day before the show, they were having this gigantic parade through Yuba City, California.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And somebody asked Snuka, do you want to jump in my car and get into the parade? And we're like, shit, yeah, dude. So we did that. then we ran Snuka over to an autograph signing where he was, it was at a pipe shop, a weed shop.
Oh, okay.
And, that was perfect for Jimmy. Oh, lovely, brother. This is my kind of jam up in here, taking care of business. But
Jimmy.
We worked the gimmick where he was, selling his 8x10s. He had his Jimmy Snuka t-shirts he was selling. And I waited in line with all the others. And when it came my time, I walked up to him and he looks up and goes, "What's your name, brother?" And saw me and did the big Snuka eyes at me. And I went, well. Look at the big superstar.
Yeah.
How much is this t-shirt, Jimmy? And I balled it up and threw it in his face as hard as I could. And his ass fucking jumped up to jump over the table at me. Pow! I gave him a bitch slap. Then security stopped me.
Did you all Snuka eyes with you?
Yeah, and then that night, you came up, right, to Mary's. No, you weren't there for that. When he went over to Michael Porter's gigantic cowboy karaoke place he did, and we sold about 50 more tickets in there from doing a little run inside there.
No, I didn't get there until Bell. I didn't get there literally probably 20 minutes into our match started.
Right.
Yeah. Hitting crazy fucking traffic coming from San Jose.
That was crazy. That was a crazy night. I'll tell you what, old Rick Michaels, man, he stepped up and he helped just kind of keep everything for the main event organized while he was the one who was constantly in touch with you to see where you were. He really stepped up that night.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happens? It turns into me, you, Michaels, Aiden, and
Mike Rain.
Good old Mike Rain.
Michael Rain. So that was the birth of the official apocalypse. And
incidentally, for anybody who might not have heard me say it 812,000 times, we beat them. We won that main event against Jimmy Superfly Snuka and the Tonga Kid.
1, 2, 3. That was it.
Yeah, that's right. It was 1, it was 2, it was 3, and it was done. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a night. So let's move on a little bit then, because Chris Casanova never, ever, ever managed to get any babyface heat.
Casa told me that you're always done in 3.
Oh, okay. Are we back? I'm sorry, what happened? Did we fade out for a second?
Who's this guy again?
Let me tell you something. I invented it, Robin. You fucking idiot. Shut up, Jimmy. Anyway. You never managed to get over with the baby as Casanova. And then we did the gimmick where I missed the chair shot and crowned you. And then you flashed over to that guy that you don't want to talk about.
Don't mention his name. I told you in the beginning. I don't want to talk about that guy.
Did I say his name, asshole? Did I?
I was just telling you.
Don't tell me. I tell you, this is my show.
Yeah. But it's Chris Casanova was not a babyface. It wasn't going to work.
Until he flashed back over from that other guy. And I made a big 180 heel turn and attacked you. Then all of a sudden, everybody loved Chris Casanova, the heavyweight champion, the hardcore champion, the tag team champion, just getting heat after heat after heat. And then, of course, we swore Talkie Talk Man together, and we went right back heel. That was fun.
My natural place.
That's right there on the dock side. So Chris Casanova has been the premier gimmick for Chris Ward for most of your career.
For most of my career, yeah. And I take a good portion of it after Rick Rude, man. I incorporate a lot of his stuff in my matches.
Yeah, I can see that. A lot of Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig sprinkled in there as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What the hell are you drinking out of a bag over there?
Out of a bag. It's a wine glass.
I'm talking to Rob.
Your mom's pussy.
Probably a bottle of Ripple.
Ripple.
How did you get a bag of my mom's pussy? I don't understand.
I've kept it in a very secret stash for a while. letting him mature a little more and age, get that perfection.
It's a vintage.
That was disgusting, and I apologize for the vulgarity of that response. I know that I'm a vulgar guy, but talking about drinking a bag of my friend's mom's pussy is just not
gosh.
right.
Wow.
You never know what to expect on the show.
I'm saying, dude.
This is a fun
WrestleShoot
show, man.
is more like it. What happened?
I'd asked to try it, but I don't think I want to taste my mom's pussy.
I'm pretty sure you already have. What? Was that out loud? Shit.
I think everybody heard it.
Sorry,
Pretty
I
much
was
yelled
supposed. I thought I was. You pretty much yelled it. Man, God damn, Chris, me and you, we've had some times up and down those roads, boy. And just think when Chris Casanova, I've heard, is interested in moving himself on out to the lovely state of Florida. Gonna get
Where?
himself a houseboat.
Can you hold on a minute? Hold on. Can you get that for me, please? Thank you.
What's your sweet honey's name over there? I know you always get these chicks with exotic names.
This one's Carmina.
I thought you were gonna just say this one's fucking Tom or something.
No.
Come on, Jimmy, that was funny. Laugh, you little son of a bitch.
Speaking of Florida, I got my little captain's hat here, ready to go.
Oh, well, where did you get that?
I don't know. Someone gave it to me. Not really sure.
Must have been an incredibly kind, gentle, and giving person.
Yeah.
No.
This is when I get my boat out there in Florida.
All right, good stuff. So, Mr. Castle, we all know that I said earlier I got to make this one kind of an early night because Wild Things got shit to do. But Chris, share with me, let's pick your top 2 fondest memories of me. No, of wrestling.
Of wrestling. Through my entire career?
Yeah.
Well, I would say one of them is working the Honky Tonk Man. That was one of my greatest accomplishments in the business. As Chris Casanova, the heel, which was the last night Chris Casanova was there for a while, but we won't go into that story. I think we already touched on that. And I would
Chris
say
got checked out for a little bit.
What's that?
Chris got checked out for a little bit.
For a little bit. And number 2 would be, I gotta say, the tag match. I have to say that.
The Snuka Tonga?
The
birth?
Yes, I gotta say that the tag match. That was a great night. All
that was hot from beginning to end too, man. That whole show was smoking, but that match, man, as soon as they heard the first couple beats of our song come on, they were seething and foaming. Because me and Rick Michael spent damn near half the night figuring out ways to fire them up and make them seethe and rage about us. It was great.
Yeah. Damn it, wish I missed that part of it, but you know what? I showed up for the part that mattered.
That's right. You were there when it counted. All right, so what's your least favorite memory? Like, what memory do you have that just still makes you fucking a little fired up?
I would say my match with Virgil.
I knew that's what you were going to say. Tell me about it.
So I guess I'll rewind a little bit. This is when I was No Fear, and I would say probably my first 3 months in the business. I get my first name on the show, and I'm excited. I show up to the show, and I'm looking at the little sheet they have up there. You remember the ones they put in the locker rooms and tells you like who you're working. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at the sheet, and I'm like, shit, I get to work Virgil. I'm happy as fuck. So I find him. He's kind of dressing, and he's just like, sitting there talking to someone, and I kind of introduce myself. I'm like, hey, Virgil, my name's Chris. Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute, like that. I'm like, okay. So I just kind of like took off for a bit, and I kind of hunted around the area. I was talking to a few other people. So finally Virgil sees me. So, hey, I'm ready to talk. I'm like, all right. So I was like, so what do you want? So what do you want to do? He was like, oh, we'll just go out there and, I'll do this, I'll do that. And look, he's just talking like a million miles in fucking hour. And honestly, I think he was coked up. And
no, Mike? No. I mean, Virgil? No. Never.
And he's like, yeah, we'll go 5-7 minutes. And, I'll do my thing with the up and over. You remember that little gimmick he used to do in the corner?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. And he goes,
I only know 5 things. So the up and over we're going to do. Okay. What are the other 4 things you want to do?
yeah, I'll give you some heat, give me some heat, and then blah, blah, blah. And then I'll give you like a neck breaker or something to go over. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, I was cool with it. I was happy he was out there and working a name. And literally he goes out there and he just tries to take liberties on me, man. Like he's just trying to squash me. And he wanted to do the up and over on me. And I kid you not, he could barely get over for it. The up and over, like, so he shoots. I shove in the corner, and Larry he jumps off the rope, and Larry, I had to get on my knees and crawl under him. That's how high. That's how low he was that he got. He couldn't even get high enough for that.
Not to throw lemon in that wound, man, but I heard about that a couple days after it happened.
Oh,
dude, I laughed like a little girl. I could have just seen it happening. Oh, get out of here.
About the up and over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, about the whole match, to be honest. I was surprised that you didn't just, tune him up a little bit, because what the fuck was he gonna do?
Well, towards the end, like he's going to kind of just throwing on me. I laid a couple into him, honestly, and then he kind of let up for a minute there. He's like, all right, I'm cool. And then we went home and did a little swinging neck breaker and pinned me. Dave's little gimmick. But I was so new and green at the time, and I was just so happy to be in a match with him. Just wanted to get it over with. But the match was like, it was atrocious.
Garbage.
And first time in my life, ever in my career, that the promoters came up to me and apologized. Mike Welch.
Yeah.
Both.
And Roland even? Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They said, Chris, I'm so sorry about that match. That's very unprofessional. He's a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I was like, okay. Like, I was kind of shocked what they said to me, but very, very, I was very grateful they said it to me.
All right, Cass, let's, before we get out of here, I do want to take this ending of the story and I want to go way back to the pre-beginning. Let's talk about the pre-Casanova. What was your road that led you to All Pro?
The road that led me to All Pro. Well, I wanted to train at the Hearts camp. That was my goal. I really wanted to train at the Hearts camp in Canada. And I actually was in touch with Keith Hart up in Canada. I was talking to him back and forth. And back then, like cell phones weren't a thing. It was like 95, 96. They were, but I didn't have a cell phone. So I was calling from my house phone. Email was kind of a new thing. I don't think it really was existing. But I was in talks with him. I was getting set up to actually go out there after I graduate high school, and I was looking into the getting my passport and all that, and looking all that stuff up because it's in Canada. Well, I went to a
Montreal even. Oh, terrible.
What's that?
In Montreal even, wasn't it? Or was it? No, it was in Alberta, wasn't it?
Calgary, yeah.
Calgary. Yeah, horrific winters.
Horrific, yeah. So this was 96, I think. It was right after I got out of high school. WCW had a house show in San Jose. And I went to the show. So I was sitting there watching the show, and I happened to see Eddie Guerrero, like to my right. He was standing in the crowd just watching the show. And so I said, hey, Mr. Guerrero, my name's Chris. And he's like, hey, nice to meet you. And I told him I want to be a pro wrestler. He goes, that's great. He says, yes. And he was very, very nice. He talked to me for about 5-10 minutes. Real cool guy. And he goes, hey, I got to get in the back right now. He goes, but there's a school out here in California that you should talk to. And so he brought Steve Verzano over to me.
Hey, how you doing, Steve? Steve Rosano, how you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, hi there, I'm Steve Rosano. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Got any
Just like
Percocet?
that too.
Got any Percocet, brother?
just like that, man. And so, yeah, I shook Steve's hand and we talked for about another 10 minutes. And because, yeah, you should call us. Here's Roland's card. Give me a call. And so I called him like literally the next day and signed up that day. I was sold. I was like, well, I can either go to Canada, get great training, or go to this school that had really good reviews and stay local. And I made the choice. So that was
very similar to me and Roxy Red, Just a Dad, Doug Damien. You know, we sat down and had Burger King with Rex King, and he was going to send us over to the Malenkos until we went to a WWF show and ran into Mr. DeMarco, and that was that.
Wow, I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah, almost ended up being a Floridian way earlier, but living in Miami, God forbid. Yeah. Sorry, Miami, but you know, yeah.
Miami.
Miami, see.
Yeah.
Creepy Jimmy, you know, I don't understand why you even bother coming on here, just sitting there looking all weird in the background.
That's my job.
At least you're not in the shower. So thank you for that. Or taking a shit, for Christ's sakes. The weirdest things you do. But we still love you for it. Nothing. You don't want to know, Cass. Trust me on this one.
I probably don't want to know.
That's what's gonna go. We're gonna go ahead.
Speaking of taking a shit, I was about to head in there.
All right. So that's gonna go ahead and get things wrapped up for us. A couple of things I want to throw out there, though. Our own Jimmy Castle, as a lot of you know, is dealing with a little fight with cancer. And we're going to get a show going where he's going to go ahead and talk about his cancer experiences and treatment and all the kind of shit he's been going through. So I believe that's going to make a damn interesting story. We got the Butcher coming back with the cutting room. He'll be back here very, very shortly. I'm going to start getting rolling on the Smells Like Hope podcast right here on the Antisocial Network again. There was one other thing. Oh, that's right. And we have a show coming out right around Valentine's Day.
Oh,
JD Stevens is a stand-up comedian out in California, and she's got a show called I Fucked Up, and It's Going to Be Okay. So I'm looking forward to that. We're actually going to go ahead and do just a little Hi, How Are You show with her, introduce her to you, our viewers, and get some positive momentum going. So we're looking forward to that. And as far as that goes, Satanic has asked me if we would be willing to, by the way, Jimmy, maybe bring back one more cleaning out the closet. She's got some things she would like to say. But we'll come back to that one later. Chris Casanova, the real Chris Casanova. It was nice having you on, brother.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Anything you want to put over?
And just a little reminder that I used to beat you in the corner. Remember that?
Ooh, I do remember that. That made
I'd
me
love
feel
to have. Do a little.
Say it again, Jimmy.
I'd love to have Satanics come back on and do a little cleaning out your closet.
All right, then. We're going to go ahead and get that one set up as well. On that note, guys, this was another episode of WrestleShoot. We've had the real Chris Casanova, and returning next week will be just plain old Chris Casanova. And until then, thanks for kicking it with us for a while. Later.